The truth about being in a relationship is that you're going to make mistakes. And even as a relationship expert, I've made my fair share of mistakes in relationships. So believe me when I tell you that if you're in an active, committed relationship with someone, you're gonna make mistakes. But the thing about making mistakes in relationships is accountability. Can you take accountability? Can you admit when you are wrong whenever you have done something to the other person? Can you apologize in the language that they like to receive an apology in, to where forgiveness can actually start happening? And what I mean by the language that they like to receive an apology in is that for some, simply saying I'm sorry is sufficient. That's sufficient enough to kind of move on. But for others, it may be you have to say I'm sorry for, and then also go into a detailed explanation of what specifically you're actually apologizing for. And that may look like saying, hey, I'm sorry for uh, not telling you about this particular instance. And then also with that type of apology, a way forward has to be created, right? So the thing about actually apologizing to someone is change behavior. So once an apology is actually made, there has to be some steps to make sure that whatever that instance was doesn't reoccur. Because simply apologizing to someone and maybe 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, maybe even 3 days, 4 days later, in committing the same type of offense, kind of makes the apology not really useful at that point. Because basically, what that does is it creates distrust in that particular relationship, right? So, what you want to avoid is giving someone a blanket apology but not changing the behavior. So, from a relationship standpoint, and this is the truth about being in a relationship, is that when you take accountability for what specific action was committed towards the other person, there has to be a change in behavior in order for both parties to move forward in that particular relationship.